the standards of cricket commentary has come down so drastically over the years that it is very difficult to watch a match with the sounds on these days. So what I normally do is that there is alternative commentary these days on YouTube. So I play it on my phone and I have a Bluetooth speaker. So I play it on the Bluetooth speaker, keep it on a very pretty decent low volume, and I mute off the sound from my TV while watching cricket, especially this IPL. Hindi commentary, I never watch it because I'm never interested. I will come back to that little later, but just talk about English commentary. We grew up like in the 90s when international cricket was becoming this new phenomenon. You have the color jerseys that actually started in 80s in Australia, but in the subcontinent you started having day and night games, and then you had this huge endorsement, huge contracts with television. Cable television became a big thing in India. It went to smaller towns, it went to villages. So in the mid 90s, by the time you had 96 World Cup, 99 World Cup, in between that you had so many tournament crickets, very competitive tournament cricket that were played in Sharjah, in elsewhere. You had these day and night matches, and there was so much of excitement, and that excitement was amplified by the kind of commentary standards the cricket had. You could compare it with other international sports like tennis or football or rugby. You mostly had foreign commentators, like foreign in the sense, commentators from English speaking countries, from England, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa. One or two Indian commentators were there, but it was largely dominated by commentators from Sena countries. And that's why you had very neutral, very competitive, and they were, yes, they were talking about analytical points, but they were also humorous. And they were also critical about certain players or certain shots that were played, certain balls that were delivered, and they were almost telling you the truth, not just what is happening there, but what is going to happen. The predictability was pretty good. I don't have to name all of them. Of course, Australia had the best one. The Channel 9 commentators were the greatest. Richie Bernard, Bill Lawry, Tony Gregg, Ian Chappell, and a few more. Later on, joined by Ian Healy and all, Mark Taylor and all. Tony Gregg was probably the most popular. But then we also had Michael Holding, Ian Bishop was in and around, Mark Nicholas was there, Harry Belford from England, and the few other commentators, and Robin Jackman from South Africa, Mike Haseman was there, and again some English commentators from David Gower. It was so much exciting because there was no DEI as well. You know what I mean by DEI? This is diversity, equity. That part was not there. Today, to fill that DEI gap, to make it more equitable, you have certain female commentators who are far more worse than certain male commentators that are already there. Especially from India, you have these certain former cricketers like Deeptas Gupta, Akash Chopra, and Murli Karthik. Even Gavaskar's commentary standards have gone down now. He's become more like a cheerleader. And then you have few female commentators which are not required in a men's cricket. I mean, I understand in women's cricket, but the question is, really, do you actually need female commentators? I mean, first of all, this cricket, as you said, the game is on decline, especially on international cricket is on decline. You need more eyeballs, and you want to have that equity in it. What is going to happen end of the day? Yes, women's cricket has to also grow, but if you are also having certain funds allocated to development of women's cricket, like 50% of the funds are going to women's cricket, I don't understand, because if like for example, a struggling country like Zimbabwe struggling country like Uganda, Namibia, Nepal, uh, if that 50% is going to women's cricket, then what happens to the men's cricket? Because men's cricket themselves are struggling. They don't have proper sports shoe, spike shoe, to come onto the field. If they have been not compensated properly, how do you think that you can develop women's cricket? First, you need to develop men's cricket around the world. Then, once it's developed, then you can think about women's cricket. And for that, it doesn't mean that you need to have commentators. Commentary is a very integral part of the game. It just because you, for so many years, 60, 70 years, 100 years of cricket commentary, both on TV and before that in radio, John Arlott and all the greatest commentators were largely men. And people have been listening to male commentators on radio. It's just that the commentary is, it's nothing to do with gender. It's just to do with the voice or anything. It's just that when you mostly the game is watched by men, and there is some affinity, some connection that can be established when you have men commentators. Especially if you have two or three men commentators commentating, you would like to see, for example, Nas Hussain, Micah Thurton, Ian Smith, when they are sitting together and commentating, I would love to listen to them. There is a lot of jokes running around. The certain, they can talk freely, and they look back what happened 20 years ago, 30 years ago. They can relate to that. They bring certain historical data, the historical, things that happened, and there's so much relatable that you can't find with certain female commentators. I mean, we have to open up on this conversation. Just because, we hurt certain people, we hurt a certain section of the world, it's so biased. You're not, so how can you speak like that? How can you say that women commentators should not be commentating on men's cricket? How can you say that? Yes, we can say that, because if it's not forcible, like if it's not on, if there is an alternative form of channel, for commentating channel, would people actually glue onto that just because you had female commentators? So no. If you look at in YouTube, the kind of alternative commentary you see is mostly done by men. Yeah, people glue onto that because there is some kind of relatability. There is some kind of that voice and that knowledge, the game's knowledge, the game's understanding, that is important, and that's why somewhere down the line, commentary standards have gone so far down the line, and they are also again the kind of male commentators. We have terrific commentators these days. It's not that they don't have, like for example, Pommy, incredible. The Ian Bishop is incredible. Ian Smith, they're all likable commentators, and there are few of them, the newcomers as well. They're very good, but off late, due to Star Sports and due to the IPL, you have Hindi commentary, and it's gone. They segmentize it. They have regional commentary now. Pretty worse. They say they have the liberty to say anything. One of the worst. They can be misogynistic. They can be racist. Anything. They can say whatever they want. And the most important thing they forget is that the language itself, the dent the language itself. For example, in Hindi commentary, there is not even a single commentator on single TV commentator who can frame a proper sentence in Hindi, in complete Hindi. He mixes it with some other language, some Tapori language, he brings Hindi language. He's not even able to define a proper shot. He's not able to define a good delivery through his commentary. And most of the time is spent by either cheerleading a player or bashing a foreign player. It's very easy to bash foreign players, and making fun of them. And when the camera is zooms to some women in the stands, then some kind of cheap comments that have been passed by the commentators. These are all former cricketers. There has to be some kind of stoppage to this. If international cricket has to grow, has to need more eyeballs, people have stopped watching that now. The number of people watching Hindi commentary is completely almost